Good afternoon. We can do better than that. Good afternoon. You just heard from my colleague about the devastating policy that has come out of this House behind us this year. But what is even more frightening is what is yet to come if we don't stand up and speak out. Earlier this month, Governor Brownback was interviewed on Kansas City radio, and he talked about the state providing funding and equalization for core classes and leaving districts to fend for themselves on things like the arts, music, debate. And I think after hearing the Topeka drumline, we know that that should be available to every student in our state. The governor also talked about a team working on a rewrite of the school finance formula. However, those individuals have not been named publicly. We hear a lot about schools being held transparent and accountable. We should expect nothing less from our state government. I ask you, shouldn't something as important as the rewrite of the state school finance formula be transparent? And should they not seek the opinions of teachers and parents? We also face the forces of a national movement for vouchers and charter schools. Vouchers, tax credits, and the new term you're going to hear a lot this year, scholarships, will only drain more dollars from our already financially struggling schools. So when you hear Koch-funded organizations, Americans for Prosperity, Kansas Policy Institute clamoring, "Why not Kansas?" stand up and tell them why not, because we will not let our public tax dollars be drained from our public schools to subsidize private schools. Private schools are not held to the same standards or accountability as our public schools are. Finally, there is a push to abolish the income tax in Kansas. If that were to happen, our schools will face cuts like nothing we've seen before. They claim we have to abolish the income tax to attract new business, but what business wants to come to a state that refuses to fund a quality education system to provide them a well-educated workforce? I am forever the optimist. I believe we must convey our concerns to our elected officials in that building. But today we must resolve, if we can't change the policy trends in that building, we will change the legislators in 2012 in that building. One legislator that we need to keep in our state house is our next speaker, Representative Paul Davis. Paul is the Kansas House Minority Leader, a lifelong Lawrence resident. He is a product of Kansas Public Schools from Lawrence High to Washburn Law School. Paul knows firsthand the devotion of our Kansas teachers. He saw it every day in the dedication that his mother put forth as a Kansas teacher. Representative Davis has consistently stood up for our students and our teachers in the State House. It is my pleasure to introduce House Minority Leader Paul Davis.